Good afternoon, I'm Shawn Yao and this is One News Now. The spike in COVID-19 infections has prompted Quezon City to put some areas under a stricter quarantine status. For the details, JC Cosico is reporting to us live from Mandaluyong City. Hi JC, how many more areas have been placed under lockdown in QC so far?
Shawn, 26 areas in Quezon City are currently under special concern lockdown amid the rise in COVID-19 cases. The areas include a retirement house within the Christ the Mission Seminary compound in Barangay Cristong Hari. At least 2 employees, including a senior citizen, tested positive for COVID-19. Authorities are waiting for the swab test results of some 30 other persons. Officials say the building is separate from that of the church within the compound. Over in Barangay Bagong Silangan, authorities have re-implemented the use of number-coded quarantine passes. There are 42 active cases in the barangay. Workers and appors are exempted. The QCLGU said they are monitoring workplaces which are now considered as hotspots. They will conduct random inspections to ensure the compliance of establishments to minimum health standards. Shawn, COVID-19 wards of some city-run hospitals like that of the Novaliches District Hospital are now in full capacity. Now, to accommodate more patients, 2 more quarantine sites are now open. And now, over 800 COVID violators were apprehended in Quezon City. Back to you.
Thank you for all those updates. That was News 5's JC Cosico reporting to us live from Mandaluyong. And more than 20 residents in 2 lockdown zones in the city of Makati have tested positive for COVID-19 on the last day of localized lockdown in the area. Romel Lopez joins us live from Makati for more details. Hi, Romel. In what specific areas were these new infections reported?
Yes, today, Shawn, is the last day of the Localized Enhanced Community Quarantine or LECQ in 2 zones here in Barangay Pio del Pilar here in Makati City, a hotspot of COVID-19 cases in the city. The Makati Public Safety Department officers are manning the streets in the 2 identified zones of area of concerns here in the barangay to limit the movement of its residents. Swab testing and contact tracing are also being done in the area. According to city data, 575 residents in the 2 zones have been swabbed, 27 of whom returned a positive result. This translates into a 4.7 positivity rate. This is the part of Makati that shares its border with Pasay, one of the COVID-19 hotspots in NCR. To date, Makati has a total of 12,587 COVID-19 cases, 846 of whom are active, along with 449 deaths. With this, the Makati LGU is constantly reminding its residents to strictly observe the minimum health protocols. Aside from Barangay Pio del Pilar, Barangay Bangkal in Makati is also an area of concern. Shawn, the 3-day localized lockdown here in Pio del Pilar in Makati will end tonight at 11:59. Shawn?
All right, so Romel, no more extension of the 3-day lockdown. It just stays at 3 days. And any news whether or not Makati will also be imposing a liquor ban?
Yes, Shawn, when it comes to liquor ban, we don't have any report yet. But as I mentioned, the original plan is to end this at 11:59 tonight. But an ongoing meeting with the top Makati officials are ongoing right now. And we wouldn't just be surprised if the topic of discussion is the increase of cases of COVID-19 in this part of the city. That is why we wouldn't also be surprised if such extension will happen. But the point of clarification, we are still waiting if indeed that will happen, Shawn.
All right, thank you for that clarification and those updates from Makati City. That was News 5's Romel Lopez. Let's check in on other stories we're keeping our eyes on. Minors in Metro Manila will be prohibited from going outdoors for 2 weeks starting tomorrow. The Metro Manila Council has decided to allow only residents aged 18 to 65 outside their homes as COVID-19 infections continue to rise. The Healthcare Professionals Alliance Against COVID-19 is calling on private companies to decongest workplaces and coordinate with LGUs in contact tracing. The group says shifting to work-from-home arrangements will also help avoid congestion in public utility vehicles. And the health department reports that nearly 216,000 people have received their first dose of vaccines from Sinovac and AstraZeneca. 96% of available doses have also been deployed to hundreds of inoculation sites across the country. And several European countries have temporarily stopped the rollout of AstraZeneca vaccines due to reports of blood clot formation after inoculation. But the World Health Organization says there is no evidence yet on the correlation between the jab and the formation of blood clots. Let's find out more from this Bloomberg Quick Take.
When we see these alerts occur, it shows that our systems are working, and that's a good thing. Well, we know that there's been some people who have presented with blood clots and other blood conditions following the receipt of their vaccine. Conditions like this are not unanticipated. There's going to be a raft of conditions we expect to see occur after vaccination just by chance because they're happening all the time in the background anyway. It's what you might call a signal or an alert, which means you go looking to see if there's any reason to think that these are going to be causally related. There's a number of assessments that occur, and that should sort of happen quite quickly. And then after those, you further reconsider whether you need to go further and more investigations required. That's a really hard question because what we're seeing here is an abundance of precaution. Nobody at the moment thinks that this is caused by the vaccine, but they wanted to be very cautious anyway. Some of these countries have a lot of COVID, and COVID itself, of course, causes blood clots, etc. So you have to be very careful because it's also sending a message that there could be something very wrong with the vaccine when in fact it's very unlikely that there is. There's been an enormous number of people now that have received this vaccine, tens of millions of people. And we're at a stage where we need to appreciate that these things are going to keep coming up. We're doing mass vaccination campaigns and people get sick all the time. We can't panic every time it happens, but we also need to take all precaution. It's a hard balance.
For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.